All right, section 8.4, properties of rhombuses, rectangles, and squares. So these three shapes, two of them are very common, rectangles and squares, but a rhombus may be new for some of us. All three of these, rhombus, rectangle, and square, are all parallelograms. And all the rules that apply to them, to parallelograms, apply to these as well. Opposite sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. The diagonals bisect each other. Okay? And then when we have a parallelogram that are one of these three things, we have a whole new set of rules that are just fun. All right, so let's talk about each of these a little bit so you know what they are. A rhombus, it says is a in the notes here. It's four-sided figure or polygon. I'm going to write that. All sides equal. All sides equal. Okay. Now people think, oh, so square is all sides equal. Well, all sides equal doesn't have anything to do about the angles, though. So that's why for rhombus, the angles don't matter. Just the four sides are equal, and everybody's happy. A rectangle, everybody says, oh, the opposite sides are equal. Well, that's true because of the parallelograms. Well, what makes a shape a rectangle is this. It's four-sided polygon, all 90 degrees. All angles are 90 degrees. Because we know the sides are equal, right? But that's based upon them being parallelograms, not because of the rectangle. Once they're 90 degrees, you have a rectangle. And then you have the famous square. Well, look at it. It's got all four sides equal, right? Equal, 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 equal. It's got the 90s going for it. So it's a combination of both a rhombus and a rectangle. That's what a square is. It's both. Four sides equal, four 90-degree angles. All right. So, again, these rules, you have to be able to use them. Here's the corollaries or theorems that we've gone over all year. All four sides equal for a rhombus. All 90-degree angles for a rectangle. And for a square, it's got to be both. It's got to be both, all four sides equal and 90 degrees. Some small distinctions of what you may have recalled about those shapes. And here's a nice Venn diagram to show that. In other words, you have rhombuses over here. They got four sides. They're always equal. Okay. Over here you got shapes, parallelograms. Again, everything here is parallelogram. But these have right angles everywhere. Well, certain mix of right angles and equal sides gets you squares. Now, using some of these properties. Again, there's a lot of properties between all these shapes. Can't memorize them, but it's a good chance to use them here. It says, for any rhombus, QRST, decide whether the statement is always or sometimes true. So you have to draw this figure, QRST. So just draw yourself a parallelogram. Oh, I'm sorry, what do they want? Rhombus. Here's my rhombus. All four sides are equal. They don't look it, but they are. And make sure you go in order. QRST, QRST. And they're saying Q and S are equal. Well, let's see. This is Q here. And what do you know about opposite angles on a parallelogram? Well, they're equal, aren't they? So this is a true statement. This is always true. This is always, right? All right, same figure. They want to know are angles Q and R equal. Well, let me just back up here a little bit if I can get this erased. There it goes. Q and R, are these ever equal? Well, most times on a rhombus they're not, but they are sometimes. In other words, does anybody know what shape that would be when they are equal? Yeah, it's going to be a square. So these will all be 90, 90, 90, 90. So that's why it's sometimes for that particular answer. All right, next one says classify special quadrilaterals. Classify the special quad. Well, look at it. What do you know about this figure? I know it's 70 here, and we know this has got to be 70 as well over here. The other thing we know is that because it's a parallelogram, that this would have to be 110 degrees, 110. But those angles aren't helping me, are they? It's about the sides. The sides tell you what it is. All four sides equal. Therefore, it's a rhombus. Rhombus is a cool word, right? RHOMBUS. All right. More rules about these shapes. Rhombus. Parallelograms of rhombus if and only if its diagonals are perpendicular. So anytime you have the four sides equal, their diagonals will always be at 90 degrees. It's right there in the picture. Always 90. Also, if you have a rhombus again, the diagonals will always bisect the angles. So these angles are cut in half. This angle is cut in half. That angle is cut in half. So is that. Rhombus have a lot of funny rules. Next one for rectangles. The diagonals always bisect each other. Like, if you look up here, though, let's make sure we get this before we go on. Here's a rhombus up here, right? Looking at those sides, it's possible that these two sides, or I'm sorry, these diagonals are not equal. As that thing kind of lays further down, this diagonal gets shorter and shorter, correct? The other one will actually get longer. So they're not always going to be equal. But on a rectangle, the diagonals are always equal length, and they cut each other in half like this also. All right, so if the next thing says sketch the rectangle ABCD, there it is for you. List everything you know about it. Well, what shape is that with those boxes in there? It's a rectangle, right? I'll skip this. All right, so we're looking at the skills practice. It says, for rhombus JKLM, decide whether the statement is always or sometimes true. Please draw the picture. So I'm just drawing me a rhombus. And label, it doesn't matter where you start the letter, as long as they're in the right order. Here's J, K, L, and M, and it's around, all sides are equal, right? You know the opposite angles are equal. It says angle L equals angle M. Well, on a rhombus, are those two angles, are these two angles always equal? No, they sometimes are, if it's a square, but not always. So they ask you if it's sometimes or always. This is going to be a sometimes true. So I'll just put an S here for this one. For 4, angle K and M. Angles K and M, are they equal? Well, in any parallelogram, they're always equal. So that one's going to be always. Always. And I'll let you go on with the rest of those. Next one says a rectangle. For rectangle WXYZ. Well, I don't see it anywhere, but you better draw one for yourself. So just trying to lay it out. W, X, Y, and Z. And how about angles W and X? Are they equal? Well, yeah, because on a rectangle, they're all 90 degrees. So that's going to be always true, right? How about number 12? Y, WY, and XZ. Well, WY, that's this guy. Diagonal and diagonal. Are they equal? Oh, yeah, sure. Yep, they're always equal. On a rectangle, the diagonals are always equal, so that's always as well. So look, you have to look at the rules a little bit back here. Here they are. And as you draw the picture and see if you come up with the answer. Let's try some other problems with our rhombus and rectangles from the skills practice number 26. Again, look at the markings. 4 sides equal to rhombus. And they have, you know, this side is y plus 8, and this side is 3y. Hopefully you realize that these two are equal. So you'd write 3y equals y plus 8. And just go through algebra. Subtract y. 2y equals 8. Y equals 4. Angles. Again, rhombus, squares, and rectangles are still parallelograms, so the two angles that are consecutive like this, their sum is 180. So they should add up to 180. So you can take the 180, subtract the 104, and you get what? 76 degrees for x. Okay. All right. Looking at the rectangle, very similar to what we just did. You know, opposite sides are equal on any parallelogram. So this equals that, and you can write that as your equation. 4y plus 5 equals, oh, I'll write it, but you guys can solve it. You know, 4y plus 5 equals 2y plus 35. Same with the x ones as well. Those are equal, so say they're equal. Go solve x. Now this is just a plain old parallelogram, right? Look at the sides. You have two equal across from each other, the single hash mark and then the double hash mark. So it's not a rhombus, certainly not a rectangle. But again, opposite angles are equal, so those two would be equal. Opposite sides are equal, so this 2y plus 1 would be equal to y plus 3. More fun coming up. Now, this is kind of where you make your money with these things. A rhombus. A couple things about a rhombus. It's a parallelogram. So all the angles, interior angles, angle A, the B, the C, and D, those are all going to be, well, I mean, opposite angles, AC are equal and DB will be equal. So let me get rid of those quick. Also in a rhombus, this is 90 here, so you got 90, 90, 90, 90. Well, since you have this, 90, and at 53, you can find the angle over here. Okay, so and also, this diagonal cuts the angle A in half. Cuts all A, B, C, and D in half. So 53 here, 53 there. I can find this angle over here by stating that's these three angles, the triangle 53, the 90, and where this dot is, they should all add up to 180. So I think if I put in a 27 in here, this would be 27 in here, right? And because the diagonal cuts it in half, this is also 27. And you can kind of go around the whole shape. Well, opposite angles are equal, so this 53 means this 53 is over here. 53, 53, and 27, and 27. And then you can go answer the questions over here. On a rectangle, next shape, they have, remember the diagonals are cut in half. Can you have 90 here, 90 here, 90 here, 90 here. These are not 90s. They are not 90 because it's a rectangle. Let's see what we can find. So 34 here, 34 here, and with the parallel lines and the transversals, you got 34 here, 34 here, and if this is 90 minus 34, you should have 46 here, 46. You see where we're going with all this, folks? 46 and 46. Now, can you find these angles in here? Where I'm drawing those? Yeah, you can, because look, you already have two of the angles for each triangle. So you can find those four angles as well.